I want you to see what this YouTuber does in his video. He calls the double standard, and he also showed the hypocrisy. I like the way this guy is doing it, man. So I'm going to put a link to this video below. Make sure you go show him some love as well. Without further ado, let's get to the heart of the message here.
Welcome back. I have a personal announcement. While today is not my final show, this is going to be my final summer here at Meet the Press. It's been an amazing, nearly decade-long run. I'm really proud of what this team and I have built over the last decade, and frankly, the last 15-plus years that I've been here at NBC, which also includes my time as political director.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care.
But the key to survival of any of these incredible media entities, including here at Meet the Press, is for leaders not to overstay their welcome. I'd rather leave a little bit too soon than stay a tad bit too long.
Okay, now listen to this. All right, it's Chuck Todd ready to meet his demise. Meet the Press anchor under siege at NBC after rating slumps to worse than he took over since he took over in 2014. So things haven't really been going well for them. I will be honest with you, MSNBC is not the most trusted news website for me. I have listened to some of their rhetorics, but for the most part, I find them to be very left-leaning, and there's too much opinion in there. There's a lot of propaganda. But let's keep listening.
I'll be honest, though, I leave feeling concerned about this moment in history, but reassured by the standards we've set here. We didn't tolerate propagandists, and this network and program never will.
He's funny.
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Oh.
But reassured by the standards we've set here. We didn't tolerate propagandists.
And this network and program never will.
All right, are you ready for this? Because we're going to see whether or not they've never tolerated propaganda. Okay, let's take a listen.
Are you serious?
Okay, a lot to cover. We've got some breaking news. Actor and musician Jussie Smollett from the hit show Empire was attacked and beaten early this morning in Chicago, and police say it could be a hate crime.
Investigators say one of the offenders wrapped a rope around Smollett's neck.
Back in 2016, Smollett spoke openly about being gay in Hollywood, telling Attitude Mag.
She looks like she's about to cry. So do we really believe Jussie Smollett was done dirty? Like, come on, people. Like, you really believe in 2022 when this happened? We actually let one man deceived the entire news network with a made-up story. Even though we didn't have the facts, we took his words as gospel and ran with that. And then we turn around and say we never believe propagandas. Okay.
Magazine quote.
Gonna cry?
They say his spirits are fairly high, considering what he's been through.
What a remarkable story. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Miguel, you'll stay on the...
You know, Jussie Smollett is a narcissistic, selfish individual. He really is. He took advantage of the vulnerability of people, especially during the Black Lives Matter protests and all that stuff that was going on. Should I say riots? When people are really hurting, feeling sorry and sympathetic for what's happening to Black bodies and everything. He took that stage of people's vulnerability. He took advantage of that and used it for his own selfish gain. That's a narcissistic man. We should not tolerate an individual like that in our society. I don't wish evil on a man, but you had no business doing that. But these people went on to talk about this as if it was 100% true when it was nothing but propaganda.
This Miguel Almaguer and Danny Ceballos. Thank you, guys.
Ali, this is a horrible story.
Yeah.
Jussie Smollett found guilty of lying to authorities in trials over his alleged attack. All you had to wait. All you had to do is wait for the rest of the story. But we didn't wait. You know, if he looks like there's some type of white supremacist content in it, you guys want to run with it. even though there was nothing like that going on.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
But there is fire behind you. Like, it's not unruly. It's just mostly a protest. What is mostly a protest? Like, isn't that propaganda? You tell me. Like, listen, man. The Black Lives Matter rioters were burning the city down. You guys said they were just peaceful protesters. When Antifas did their dirty dirt, you called them peaceful protesters. When Jan 6 happened, you called them insurrectionists. Just saying. Let's keep going.
But fires have been started.
Yep. Price of justice. Black Lives Matter protests and rioters after George Floyd's death did as much damage as what? 2 billion worth of damage. 2 million. 2 billion, friends, with a B. With a B. Peaceful.
We didn't tolerate propagandists, and this network and program never will.
Okay.
You're a member of the judiciary. Do you believe the president right now has been an agent of the Russians?
Yes, I think there's more evidence than he is. Yes. And
Come on, man. It keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. And all these stories have been exposed to be lies and deceptions. And I think the media, they need to take a good look within, do some introspect, do a little bit of self-examination to realize how much they've been lying to the people. Maybe we can start trusting them again. What these people did to Trump, Hillary Clinton, and what she did collaborating with the 3-letter alphabet, creating a narrative about the man, put him in a negative light. Like in country where justice is to be served, like Donald Trump said, she will be in jail. She will not be able to do this and walk free. There's no lawsuit, nothing. And the story is false. There was no such thing. It was all made up. It was false from the very beginning. People knew that, but they pushed it. They pushed it. They pushed it.
I think all the arrows point in that direction, and I haven't seen a single piece of evidence that he's not.
An agent like in the 1940s where we had people who are Reds, to use an old term, like that. In other words, working for a foreign power.
He's working on behalf of the Russians, yeah.
Okay, yes.
These people. We never pushed propaganda. Durham report. That report came out recently. Confirms Russian collusion investigation against Trump was a hoax. Listen, the average American knew this. Now, some of us were brainwashed to believe everything the media says. Some of us are like that. Like when I saw this, I was like, It's like the same way I feel about what's going on with Trump in New York right now with Calvin Brad and everything. I look at that, I'm like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. So it's political, man. It's not true. It's a smearing campaign. It's about making the president look stupid, as bad as you could possibly do. It's about getting us not to ever think of him as a positive. It's about getting us not to vote for him because you disagree with him, because he's a threat to your system. That's what this is about. Anyway, let's keep going. Of course.
Instead of the virus being able to hide.
Rachel Maddow. Well, at least she's gone. She's gone too, so.
From person to person to person, potentially mutating and becoming more virulent and drug resistant along the way. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops.
That was not true. It was never true. But I know YouTube is very sensitive about this subject. I'm not putting misinformation out here. They are. They are the ones that are lying. I'm just reacting.
With every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus. The virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
Just, y'all be lying. I can see it through your eyes that you knew you were lying. It's okay. I mean, God is merciful. Sometimes we say things with the information that we were given. Sometimes we tell lies because we were lied to. Sometimes we fail to do our homework. I think sometimes we are just deceived. Or maybe we are a bunch of deceivers ourselves. Some of these people trying to manipulate the minds of people, man. They did this for 2 years, man. Playing with our minds. I mean, some of it I believed. I had to, I had to go on Rumble and get detox and get rid of the deception that was laid on me. I had to go on different channels and listen to different perspective, mainly independent networks and stuff. And I began to realize it's like two different stories. And I feel like I was freed from them. But yeah, I used to believe it too. When you listen to only these people, you will lose your mind. There we go.
And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you.
Listen, it's funny. Yo, he is funny. Look at how serious of a look he has. He looks like a preacher who's trying to call sinners to repentance.
And for those of you spreading misinformation, shame on you.
Shame on you too.
Shame on you.
Shame on you too. Because you are spreading it as well.
People are needlessly dying.
Stop trying to gaslight us. Stop trying to use fear to cause us to bow the knees to Baal. No. It's people. It's just shame on you. Shame on you for not believing our deceptions.
Because of your misinformation.
Guess who was purveying misinformation the most? You guys were. Shame on you too, boy.
Think about it. I don't know how some of you sleep at night who are doing this for a living.
I don't know how you sleep at night. You do this for a living. I don't do it for a living. I have a regular job. And I have a call on my life. To me, this is part of the thing that I love to do, but this is your job. You spread misinformation all day, all night, trying to confuse people about what's true and false. And then you want to point the finger at us. Shame on you.
On television. I don't know how some of you sleep at night who are doing this for a living on television.
Funny, I was thinking the same thing.
Make sure you go check out this YouTuber below because I love what he does. I can take any one of his videos and sit down and examine it and really have fun with it. But, Chuck Todd, have a good one. You shall not be missed. Guys, Jesus says in Matthew 7, be aware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. Friends, we live in a world where people are deceiving. They are deceived and they are deceiving people. And let me ask you a question. How do you get your news so that you can avoid as much as false deception, propaganda as much as possible? How do you get your news? How do you read the news? Where do you go to get your news so that you can avoid some of these people's propaganda? Because I don't think it's that easy. I'm looking at ways to do that better, but I'm realizing the deception is deep because it's not only from the left, it's also from the right. I find that Fox News is a lot more reliable, but they do stuff too that is not as good. So There's some channels you can't trust, like TYT, right? The Young Turks. I mean, it's just propaganda, but it's independent, but they're still pushing the same rhetoric. So I love the Daily Wire, but the Daily Wire got some stuff in there that you can tell is too far leaning. It's not always balanced, but for the most part, they are decent. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what do you guys do to get your news, to understand a story better? For me, I go to the source and try to read some stuff. But even when you read certain places you go, it's like the propaganda is there. And it's bad. Anyway, share your thought and perspective with me below. I would like to hear from you. Are you going to miss Chuck Todd? I mean, when are they going to get rid of Joy Reid? They need to hurry up. I know they got rid of Stephanie Cross. She had to go. But when they're going to get rid of Joy Reid? Because I don't think we like her very much either. Anyway. Have a good one. Bye.